Hi, I'm Arienette, and today I want to show you how I made this surgical tray home decor DIY, I guess. I'm not really sure what to call it. So I bought everything from the dollar store and from a store called Princess Auto, which is not as cool as it sounds. It is a weird store that has a lot of, like mechanical stuff, things for cars, just weird things. They even had like dentistry tools. So I found this magnetic parts tray, these folding scissors. I found two other pairs of scissors, which I think are more like forceps. I just thought they looked kind of medical, surgical. That was what I was going for. And I found this toolkit, and I also have this giant baking tray from the dollar store, so that was pretty cheap. That's good. Now, the first step, we're going to paint everything pink. So I spray painted all of my things. I did 2 layers, and I didn't care so much about the bottoms of them because they're going to be stuck down anyway. And honestly, throughout this DIY, I ended up chipping the paint. You'll see it later, so make sure you have extra spray paint at the end of this step, or have regular liquid paint in the same color. That's what I used. So my idea with this little bowl was to kind of have it look like some surgeons had removed some weird organs or something, and I wanted it to be really cute, glittery, but also kind of gory. So I honestly made this up as I was going along. I feel like you could totally recreate this if you wanted to, but I think this part should be more creative, and I would love to see what you come up with if you decide to make your own surgical tray. I think this is like the place where you could really make some decisions, you know what I mean? So personally, I started with these 2 foam roses from the dollar store. Basically, all of these supplies for this little part are from the dollar store. Then I put in some glitter glue on the base, and I poured white Elmer's glue. That's just like craft glue, the kind of stuff that kids used to eat at school. You remember that one kid that ate paste? Like that glue. It dries clear, so that's why I really wanted it. Then I decided to put in some big globs of paint and kind of swirl them around. My idea here was that when the glue dries, you'll kind of be able to look down through it and see the different layers and see how the paint has swirled in there. I swirled it a little bit too much, so it still had the same effect, it just wasn't as strong as I thought it might be. Make sure you bang it on the table a little bit to get any air bubbles out. Here I was trying to create something that looked sort of like tissue, like kind of lumpy, gross, yeah, just like stringy tissue. The idea here is to make sure that it's layered. You'll see what I'm about to do in a second here. Oh god, that's so annoying. Just get it off your finger. Get it up. Thank you. Oh my god. So you want to make sure that you're not putting too many things on top of each other when you layer it, but you'll see what I mean in a second. So this looks like a big old mess. Trust me, it's going to look better in a minute. Just going to submerge those in there and try to clean up a little bit of my mess. Oh, it's not working. Whatever, it's fine. So this took a week to dry. Yeah, a week, just for that part because I poured so much in at first. So a week for that to fully dry. Yeah, that was kind of intense. If you want it to dry faster, this particular glue cures faster in hot, dry environment. So, yeah. So here's what I was talking about with the layers. So for my second layer of these little red gem things, I've put them in a different place. And I'm gonna do this a couple of times, just put them down, paint the glue over. And this is so that when you look at it when it's all complete, you can look into it and see the layers. And I honestly wish I had made more layers. I didn't make that many because I was kind of impatient and wanted to get this out. I have literally been working on this for I'm embarrassed to say, but several months. Not a lot. It doesn't take a long time. If I had to add up all of the time I spent doing this, it was probably 4 hours total work if you did it all back to back. But because there's drying time and stuff, it does take a little while. So basically, all I did was layer glue and fun stuff like sequins and glitter, anything that I thought could be kind of interpreted as gory, bloody, organ, surgical-ness. You know what I mean? For Halloween. When you're painting on layers of glue with the paintbrush, you don't have to wait a week for it to dry. You only have to wait that long if you're pouring it in. This is what it looks like the next day. See how some of it is still a little bit white and tacky, but that's okay to paint over. It'll still hold everything in place. Just remember, the more glue you put on, the longer your drying time. And I poured maybe half full, like that little dish was half full with glue when it took a week to dry. So if you use that as your worst case scenario, it's not that bad, really. Just, this is a multiple day DIY. We're almost ready to see it fully dry. As I said earlier, I do think this is the part where you could be totally creative and do whatever you want with it, but keep in mind, if you're layering things, try not to put things on top of other things, if you know what I mean. Like, move it to the side a little bit so you can actually see your hard work under there. So this is actually, it's a magnetic tray, so I don't have to glue it to the tray. It just sticks there, which is really nice. From here, it's really easy. All you do is rearrange your instruments on the tray. This took me a little while because I'm a bit indecisive. Glue them down. I tried to glue mine to hide, like the tray, the baking tray has a Betty Crocker label on it. I glued mine down to hide that. Yeah. I used hot glue just to make sure everything would stay on really well. And unfortunately with hot glue, you end up getting these, I don't know what to call them, tails, these little stringy bits that kind of stick to everything and make it look kind of ugly. So I used some tweezers to remove them, and yes, this did take a while, but it was very, very, very worth it because you could totally see them, not from far away, but from like a foot away you could see them, and it was kind of gross. So here's the paint I was talking about. This is the same brand and name of the spray paint that I used if you want to use the exact same color. I bought it at Walmart. And now I'm just going to go through and clean up all of the little spots that kind of got pulled off with the hot glue strings, because that definitely lifted the paint. This is a DIY that is supposed to be looked at rather than handled, and that is because paint and metal are not the best of friends. Their friendship is it's a little bit volatile. Any kind of little smidgen of chaos or activity and it just falls apart. So be very careful with this DIY once it's painted. You're going to want to be delicate with it, but also please expect that you're going to have to repaint some parts at the end. Using a sponge was a really good idea because it made it more even than I think it could have been. But honestly, that's about it. The last thing you want to do is put on a top coat. I used a high gloss one, but I could have used a couple more layers on it because I just wanted it to be really, really shiny. I just think having a shiny top coat makes it look more like metal, more like surgical tools. It also helps the paint stay on, I think, but maybe I'm just lying to myself. So that's it. That's the entire DIY. This is something that I looked up and I could not find anyone else had done it. Like, I believe this might be my original idea. Now, don't quote me on that, because like I did look around the internet to see if anyone had done this before, and I couldn't find anything. So this might be my first official DIY. I'm not really sure. You'll have to let me know. Burst my bubble. Go on. But if you want to make it, please let me know. I would love to see it. You can tag my website on any social media site and I will probably see it. #takethezine.com. Yeah, thank you for clicking on me. My name is Arienette, and I will see you really soon. Goodbye.